a small one, with laughter. And someone who sees me, just sees me. Elijah's throat felt thick. I see you, he whispered. She blinked, startled. What? I said. I see you, Amora. All of you. She stared at him like no one ever had said that before. Then she smiled, a smile that reached her eyes. What about you? She asked after a pause. Where's your family? Elijah looked down. They're far. Complicated. You speak like someone who had everything but still lost something, she said softly. He glanced at her, surprised. Am I wrong? No, he admitted, a sad smile on his lips. You're not wrong. I did have everything, but none of it mattered when my heart was empty. Amora nodded slowly. That's a hard way to learn. But I think I needed to lose it all to understand what I really needed. They sat in silence for a while, listening to the wind stir the leaves, their hearts connecting in the quiet. But secrets have their own scent, and even whispers can travel. It didn't take long before hushed murmurs began slipping through the estate. 2 estate workers, one a pretty maid, the other a mysterious new guard, were spending time alone. They vanished for minutes at a time. They exchanged glances too soft, smiles too knowing. At first, it was just harmless gossip. But then a houseboy told the cook. The cook told the laundry girl. And eventually, it reached the ears of one of Amora's fellow maids, a cruel, bitter woman who had always envied her. Amora began noticing the stares. The silences that stretched too long when she entered a room. Elijah, too, felt the shift. Bacco made a passing comment one morning about keeping personal business outside work hours. Still, neither of them stopped. They couldn't. In the hidden corner, they were safe. Free. Real. One day, Elijah brought her a tiny hand-carved wooden bracelet. I made it during night duty, he said, sheepish. It's rough, but I wanted you to have something that's yours. From someone who sees you. Amora held it like it was treasure. You're unlike anyone I've ever met, she whispered. But I still don't know much about you. Elijah looked away. Maybe someday. I'll tell you everything. But not yet. She searched his eyes. Promise me it's not because you're playing with me. His gaze was firm, unwavering. I would never. She smiled, slid the bracelet onto her wrist, and whispered, then I'll wait. They touched hands briefly. A brush of fingers, a pulse of warmth that echoed louder than any kiss. They parted quickly that day, too quickly. But Elijah stood still for a long time after she left, his heart full and aching. She didn't know his name. She didn't know his past. But she knew him. The real him. And that was more than anyone else ever had. Love had bloomed in silence, in secrecy. But it was real. Tangible. And no matter what came next, he knew. He would protect it with everything he had. Love was supposed to be soft, healing, like the breeze that carried wildflowers across the fields. And in the beginning, that's what it was. Every stolen moment between Elijah and Amora felt like a world of their own, gentle laughs behind garden walls, whispers under the stars, a quick brush of hands when no one was watching. But just as spring brings beauty, it also stirs the insects from beneath the soil. Their love, as genuine and fragile as it was, didn't go unnoticed. The estate buzzed with envy. Some whispered with curiosity, others with bitterness. And some, driven by their own unfulfilled desires, allowed their jealousy to rot into cruelty. Madam, Amora's employer, had begun to notice the spark in her maid's eyes. The way she smiled for no reason. The quiet humming during chores. The undeniable glow that love gave. To Madam, that glow was an insult, a challenge to her authority. And her daughters, spoiled, entitled, and painfully aware of their own fading charm, noticed it too. They had tried to capture Elijah's attention with perfumes, revealing clothes, and flirty smiles. But Elijah only had eyes for one person. And that person was beneath them. He's just a guard, one daughter hissed. How dare she act like she's more than a housemaid? One afternoon, Madam stormed into the kitchen, tossing her handbag on the table. She thinks she can fall in love under my roof. I'll remind her of her place. Amora, unaware of the storm brewing, continued to meet Elijah in their little hidden corner. They shared dreams, fears, and promises. "No matter what happens," she said one night, "don't let go." "I won't," he whispered. "Even if the whole world turns against us, I'll never leave you." But the world was already turning. The first strike came swift and cruel. One morning, Elijah was pulled from his post and dragged to the compound center. Madam's oldest daughter stood with tears streaming down her face, her blouse torn. She pointed at Elijah. "He tried to force himself on me," she cried. "Right here, behind the laundry lines." Gasps rang out. Madam screamed curses. Amora stood frozen in horror. But Elijah didn't plead. He didn't beg. He stared directly into Madam's eyes and said, "You know I didn't do this." The gardener spoke up. "He was with me fixing the outer gate. I saw him the whole time." The lie crumbled. Still, Madam wasn't finished. A few days later, a gold necklace, her most prized piece, was found tucked inside Elijah's locker. Another set up. But Bacco, the old guard who had come to respect Elijah, stepped in. "This boy is many things," he said gruffly. "But he's not a thief. Someone planted it. Check the servant quarters if you're truly seeking the thief." The necklace was later found under one of the daughters' beds. Still, the damage was done. Tensions soared. Whispers followed Elijah everywhere. And Amora was punished. She was denied food for 2 days. Made to scrub the entire compound from sunrise to sunset. Called vile names. Laughed at by the same people who once worked beside her. But she never cried in front of them. Only in Elijah's arms, hidden by the trees, did she let the tears fall. "I'm scared," she whispered. "They won't stop." Elijah clenched his fists. "We'll leave. We'll run." "I don't want you to lose everything," she whispered. "I already lost everything," he replied. "But I found you." Things only grew darker. Madam, furious that her efforts to break them had failed, made a decision so cold it chilled Amora to her core. "You think you're in love," she snapped one day. "Fine. You'll be married too. I've found you a husband." Amora stared at her, heart pounding. "What?" "An old friend. A businessman from the next village. He's wealthy. Needs a young wife to give him children. You'll thank me later. He's old enough to be my father." Madam smiled cruelly. "Better than wasting your time with a guard." Amora ran to Elijah that night, her hands trembling. "She's selling me off. Like I'm nothing." Elijah held her close. "We can't stay here, Amora. It's not safe anymore." She looked up, eyes wide and terrified. "Where will we go?" "To the city," he said. "I still have someone there, someone I trust. We'll leave everything behind. I'll protect you." She hesitated only a moment before nodding. "Okay. Wherever you go, I'll go." They made plans quietly, over days. Every detail mapped out carefully. Bacco, the old guard, sensed something and pulled Elijah aside one morning. "I don't know who you really are," he said. "But I've seen your heart. Take her. Go. Before this place poisons the both of you." Elijah nodded. "Thank you for everything." The night they left, it was raining softly. The sky cried for them. They didn't pack much, just a small bag with a few clothes, the carved bracelet, and the note where Amora first wrote to him. At the edge of the compound, Amora turned back. The mansion stood still and cold, lit up like a monster's mouth. "Let it go," Elijah whispered. She nodded. "I already have." As they walked into the night, hand in hand, their hearts beat not with fear, but with hope. They weren't sure what waited in the city. They weren't even sure if love could truly survive the fire they'd just come through. But they had each other. And for now, that was enough. The city lights were nothing like the stars. They didn't twinkle with wonder or mystery, they blazed like fire, overwhelming and unrelenting. The moment Elijah and Amora stepped off the cramped bus, it felt as though the world had shifted beneath their feet. Noise. Movement. Crowds. They stood at the station, clutching each other, their single worn-out bag hanging loosely from Elijah's shoulder. For a moment, they said nothing, just taking it all in. "Is this where your cousin lives?" Amora asked, her voice soft and unsure. Elijah nodded slowly. "Somewhere here." He moved out of the family estate years ago. Keeps a low profile. She looked up at him, a little smile breaking the nervousness on her face. Like someone else I know. He chuckled gently. I guess it runs in the blood. They spent the night in a cheap roadside motel. The room was small and smelled of old cigarettes,